It is Monday, June 24th, 2024, 7:33 p.m. 7:34. And I call this meeting of the Needham Design Review Board to order. I am the board chair, Mark Lusing. I would like to confirm that members and applicants can be heard and are present. So when I call your name, please respond. Steve Dornbush,
Here.
Susan Opton.
Here.
Okay, and Felix is unable to attend today. Also attending our town staff person, Elisa Lichman. Applicants, if you're connected, please respond. The 200 First Avenue Homewood Suites. There's someone here from them. I see several names. Okay. 117 Chestnut Street.
Here.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi.
Blue on Highlands site plan review.
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
Hi. And Needham Art Association for multiple fence banners.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Hillary. Okay. Welcome to this open meeting of the Needham Design Review Board, which is being conducted remotely, consistent with state orders. The orders allow public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the Needham Design Review Board is convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website and the Design Review Board page, identifying how the public may join. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. We do have a special permit application tonight that allows public comment. All supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this board are available on the town's website. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Other people may be able to see you and hear you. Take care not to screen share your computer unless the chair approves. Please mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. I will introduce each applicant on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will take comments or questions from the Design Review Board members. After discussion, each vote will be by roll call vote. The building department now requires electronic submission of building permit applications. A copy of your application, stamped and noted for the type of approval that it receives, will be emailed to you by the DRB support staff. That can then be attached to your building permit application. So we'll now start with the first item on the agenda. The public notice is hereby given that Homewood Suites located at First Avenue has made application to the Design Review Board for special permit pursuant to Article 5 of the general bylaws. They are proposing several signs when one sign is allowed by right, and they also have signs that exceed 100 square feet and some signs that exceed 32 square feet. So I will turn it over to Homewood Suites.
Hello.
Hi.
I can't see myself, but can you see me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so basically they have a new image and they're going to be removing and replacing 5 wall signs, and they're going to be refacing their monument sign and one directional sign. In some instances, the signs are getting smaller. In some instances, they're getting slightly larger. I don't know, they're white, they're going to remain white. In some instances, do we want to go through them one by one? I don't know.
Yes, why don't you show it? Can you screen share or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right, so there's the site plan. There are 7 signs, if I'm correct. 2 on the building, some low canopy signs, and a couple of ground mounted signs. So the building signs are there, one on each end, which they received a special permit for last time. They're back again. I'll tell just the members of the board who aren't quite aware of this. Special permits do not carry over. If you change something, you have to reapply for a special permit. So that's one end.
Do I have to do that after design review?
You're doing it now.
Oh, I'm doing it now. Okay. I wasn't sure, sorry.
Um,
Okay, so they're basically just changing the layout and then in changing the layout, the text is getting larger. So it's not short and stacked, it's longer and the signs are getting larger. They're illuminated, they're white.
Here's the sign for its actual size. So 5.2 by 20, so it's a little over 100 square feet, 104 plus
But
minus.
the previous one was 120.
Yeah.
So we are reducing
Yeah.
it slightly.
Yeah, I think the other one had the duck included in the area.
Correct.
Because, well, so when, I think the typeface itself was a little bit smaller, but we'll let the board weigh in on that issue. So those are the two end signs. Well, I think what we'll do is just run through them real quick to see them, and then we'll back up and take them a little bit at a time. Again, these are replacing, they're all in existing locations that have existing signs that we did approve before. So over there, canopy entrance, there's the one on the canopy, there's also one on the wall. And there's also around the corner on the canopy, so this is on not B Street. Trying to remember the name of the streets. It's not A Street. Yeah, it's A Street. Okay. And this is the size of those various elements on the building. This is the panel by the door. And then they have two monument signs that are, one is out on the street, right? Correct? On the corner. And the other is
Yes.
directional sign,
Yeah, one is just inside the lot.
right? All right, so we'll back up. Start with the big guys. So any questions or comments? Why don't we start with you, Steve?
Well, okay, I'd like to pass, but because I'm
Okay.
a little confused. How many are there? Just if I understand it, there's one on each end of the building,
Yes.
and then the front one.
And all the rest are on the bottom, the lower level.
It's a lot of signage. One thing I looked at, you have so in the front there, and then you also have like a wall sign. Is that really necessary? Maybe that's one way of cutting back one.
Well, we're just removing and replacing. The only difference with the one near the
Oh.
door is
That
that
was-
we're putting it on a background instead. When it was just on the brick, you really couldn't see it as well.
Hmm.
They're already there. We're just removing and
okay.
replacing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still, everything's open for review at this point.
So maybe it stands out more because it's on a background.
Yeah. Yep.
That could be it. Other than a lot of signage, I don't know. I think I'll take a pass right now.
Okay,
and listen to what more is said.
okay, Susan?
Well, I was gonna take a pass. too. I think the signs, to me, they look nice. I do agree, maybe there's too many, but I think they're nicely pointed and none of them really offends me, so I'm kind of leaving it to the sign gurus.
Yeah, so when they first came last time, we had a long discussion about the quantity of the signage. In the end, they were all approved by that particular board. Some of the issues are that for them that once they're at ground level, people approach from different directions and finding these entrances like this one. And then there's the other canopy sign, do you really need both of those when they're not that far apart? But the board at that time was convinced that there was reasonable need for them, given that someone might be on A Street or B Street and not see the
Mhm.
other than the high sign, it's sort of a visual cue as to where the entrance is.
I would
Okay.
agree with that. I mean,
That was sort of thing, but you know, it's a lot of signs, you're right. And the one on the wall was, the old one was just letters mounted on the brick, and so it was not very intrusive. The one on the panel's a little bit more. And as Steve noted, you've already walked under the canopy, so what is that really, is that one really doing anything? And then the ground signs we thought were, again, reasonable for driving traffic to help orient them around. This is an area that people, the other issue is that people coming here aren't necessarily residents and aren't that going to be that familiar with the streets. So those were the discussion points we had last time they were here.
all makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand now.
But it's a lot of signs. I mean, if you guys have any objections, I would, you know, certainly Steve has a good point that the sign on the wall here is sort of redundant with the one right here. So at some point, you know where you are.
See that one from far away, really, as you're approaching. But then I guess you're already at the door, so there you are.
Yeah,
We're actually reducing the square footage by 20 square feet overall. Well, except for, you know, making
Yeah.
that one with the background.
yeah, putting it on a panel makes it.
Right.
look good. So you
I
can,
mean, I'm sure they could take it off the panel and just put the letters, if that would certainly make it a lot smaller.
okay.
I think I understood the points and they were well taken. I understand I could go along with them, but it might be a little thing, but I think I would like to see then that one taken off the background and go back to just being letters on the wall.
Okay. That seems reasonable. Continue that match the way it was done before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Susan, any, oh, you might having trouble here,
I
sorry.
agree with that. I think that's a good compromise because um
And are we comfortable with the
frustrating
design?
to not know where you're going or where the door is. And,
Yeah.
not everybody's looking up, so.
All right, are we comfortable with the design on these other signs and the size?
I am, I think they look nice.
I thought they did a nice job.
Yeah, I'm good
Yeah.
with them.
Okay, so I will, at this point, because there's only one modification, we can make a motion to approve the 7 signs with the condition that's, let me get to the right page here, sorry. Which one is this? That sign E5,
EO5, yeah.
sign E5 be changed to pin mounted letters on the wall without a rear panel.
Can they be blue or do they need to be the silver?
No, they can be blue.
Mhm.
Okay. Because you really can't see the silver on the brick.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So that would be the motion.
Uh,
Steve, do you want to move that?
I'd like to move the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and we come to the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes,
and the chair is yes. All right, thank you. That was. We did beat this up pretty far before, so I felt like the change was not making it any worse.
There you go.
Right,
All right, thank you.
you're welcome. See
Have a
this?
good night.
Night.
you
Right,
too,
Steve.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next. Right, the next item is 117 Chestnut facade changes. This is Sumi Kim is here.
Yep, hi.
Hi, there you are.
Hi, my name is Somi Kim. I'm the owner of 117 Chestnut Street. We went through the design review board application and approval back in September of 2023 to add the AD accessible ramp and also to include the covered porches to increase the size of oral surgery operatories to allow for ADA compliance. We are implementing all the recommendation from DRB regarding the landscaping. We also addressed the parking concerns with the building department since then. This current application is to address that we would like to change the exterior colors and window type and color as the existing colors could not be matched and windows need to be replaced. The proposed rendering is to show what it would look like with the proposed colors of white and charcoal vertical vinyl siding and black vinyl windows, and on all the landscape details have been omitted for the purpose of this rendering.
And we reviewed your landscaping in that other review, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so well, there's. So the building is not changed, it's the same sort of design pattern, just a different coloration than we saw the first time, since they can't match the existing. Any questions or comments, Susan?
No, I think this looks better than the original color, so
Yeah. that's
I'm
nice.
for this.
Okay, Steve?
No questions. It looks very tasteful, actually, very contemporary.
Yeah, I think it's nicely done. It was, I think we went through the building quite a bit before on the accessibility issues and that little stair in the back. So if you've resolved those issues with the building department, I think that's great. I have no other questions or comments. So I would take a motion to approve.
I move the motion.
Can I finish, please? 117 Chestnut
Okay.
as submitted. Okay, now you can go.
I move the motion.
All right,
I'll second the motion.
and we come to the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes,
and the chair is yes. All right, thanks, Sumi.
Thank you so much.
The next item is Blue on Highland. Site, they are applying to the planning board for site plan review, so this is our comment on them. They are. Do you want to take us through, Tom?
Yep, I can kick it off. Everybody loves hearing from an attorney at almost 8 o'clock at night. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Tom Miller from McDermott, Quilty, Miller and Hanley, here on behalf of Blue on Highland. I'm joined by Scott Drago from the applicant. I'm also joined by Olivia Green from Kipper Studio, who is the project architect here. By just way of background, as you mentioned, this is the application before you is related to Blue's application for site plan review to expand the long existing restaurant into the what is in this picture entitled Manny's Barbershop, but was a nail salon previously, taking over that 650 square foot space. As part of that, they're proposing to modify the facade of that former nail salon / barbershop. Essentially what they're going to do is they're going to bring forward the facade to keep it in line with the existing space, the restaurant next door, and close off that door. They're also going to remove the box signage above. The other part of this is if you're looking under that awning that says Blue on Highland, they're looking to replace the long existing windows with something that is not as drafty as what is currently there, with windows that will match the proposed windows in the new space. Olivia has taken inspiration for the facade from the new space, from that of the old. It carries that brick and wood element across over, and is really an upgrade in the appearance of that former nail salon, and makes these two units appear to be contiguous as much as possible, without pulling it too far away from the spaces which aren't necessarily in the picture before you, but to the right of the rest of the facade as you move along. If the board would like, I can have Olivia talk more about her design inspiration for this space and what the plan is.
Sure, that's fine. Is there an image you would like to see?
Olivia?
Bring her in.
She's here and she looks like she's unmuted, but I'm not sure if I can see her, but I can't hear her.
There she is. You're welcome to take the screen, or or tell me what page you'd like me to show, and I'll scroll through that. But we're not getting audio of Olivia.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Must have been connected to some other headphones or speakers or something. Yeah, so the overall intention is just to match the existing aesthetic of the existing Blue on Highland facade. So let's see. So the intention is really to bring across that clapboard at the base. It's sort of that darker sort of brick red color. And we're going to basically continue it all the way across. Similarly, with the awnings, the intention is to match the existing colors as well as the graphics. We're not proposing any new lettering or signage per se for the awning, just to have a continuous awning over those new windows.
And we understand that the awning is not necessarily before you tonight, but this gives you an idea of the overall final aesthetic. Before you tonight is related to the site plan review, is the bump out of the facade, and
Well,
as we move forward,
we can do
we'll come
both if it's.
No, we
can
would
do
love to.
both.
That would be great.
Don't know if you have a lot. I'm guessing you don't have a lot more information on that awning at this point.
I don't, but I'm also not the person who would.
Yeah.
Scott is here as well. He may have more information, or Olivia may, but I know that was a relatively recent change. So we may not have a full understanding of what the awning will be at this point.
So the idea is that you will do that blue striped border around the outside of the awning,
Yes,
and not the B in the inside. It's going to be the same color and shape.
correct.
Existing.
Yes.
Okay.
The overall idea is to carry that overall aesthetic, as Olivia said, from the existing space to the new space.
Okay. Those current windows, you noted that they can be drafty. They are, as I recall, they were almost a handmade folding panel that the architect and carpenters came up with back when they first renovated that space. So I think they're wood, right?
Yes, that's my understanding.
And is the new one going to continue to be wood, or is it switched? It's hard to
No,
tell.
the materials are different. We included a close-up picture, but they are, I believe, a metal of some kind. The designer of the windows was supposed to be here tonight, but couldn't make it to describe in more detail. But they're a much more modern folding design to really take advantage of the insulating properties. Right now they're drafty and fold. My understanding is they fold out into the public way. These will be obviously a much more high quality version and will fold in out of the public way.
Well, it looks like they're just an aluminum storefront folding window, so.
I'm not sure exactly what the material is, but yes.
Olivia, are you aware?
Yes, I believe the originals are an aluminum mullion. I don't believe we have the specs on us at the moment, but
Well, is this it? The Portal Ink people?
This is not the specific manual for this, but it is typical for this type of window, yes.
Okay, so it's
They
aluminum
adjust
frame.
them depending on, you know, they're all custom. So they don't have a standard, so this is essentially what we will get as
Yeah.
part of it.
Okay, so it talks about the material. Your options are a clear anodized finish or a dark bronze.
They're
Is that
going with the dark bronze, which,
okay? Right,
or that's what we're proposing anyway.
that's helpful, okay. So I will, that's kind of me kicking it off. Steve, do you have any questions?
No, I think it's a good idea. You're just trying to, continuity here and continue the lines and design. So really, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Susan?
I don't, is the facade going to be black on top or is it brick?
So that's the existing facade. It is a corrugated metal, for lack of a better term. And that facade is what carries down to the right towards the Starbucks and the bagel place and Town Pizza. That matches all the way down. So we're not proposing to change that, because that would be, it kind of connects the two spaces.
Yeah, it's
see.
part of that contiguous building, so.
So it's just this door window thing that's coming forward?
Yes,
Yes.
No, I like it. I love those windows. I think it brings a
there's the
lot of
plan. So here's a
community.
floor plan, Susan. They're gonna straighten that wall out there. Changing it from that recessed entry.
I see, right. I think it's a good idea.
Okay,
And I don't have any objections.
all right, I guess my other question for the two of you is there isn't a lot of information on the awning, but it's a known quantity and are we comfortable approving the facade changes, which is not this particular image, but the image with the awning, just to save them a trip back. Just we could condition it that it match the shape and color of the existing awning. Would everybody be comfortable with that, or do we want more information, a little more detail?
I think that's fine. Is it going to have any writing on it?
No, it will not.
I don't want to jump the gun here, but are you also planning on putting signage above it?
No, we had originally thought about doing that, but in looking at with Elisa's help, we came to better understand the signage regulations and changed that plan of using what is existing there, that existing box. We originally were considering using it, but we're pulling that now and replacing it with an awning.
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this because usually I want less, not more. But have you thought of putting the blue logo on there also? I'm just throwing it out. So it's continuity. Besides being color and shape, it would also have.
You do have it frequently. It's there. It's on the-
Yes. Our concern was the expanding the overall signage, and was that be considered signage, but we are happy to include that be if the board would find that acceptable.
I was just throwing
So long as it doesn't run us afoul of anything else that I'm not aware of.
It should not, given we sort of classify them as a graphic. The building inspector may think it's a sign, but we're in discussions with him about some of these kinds of elements on buildings. So I'm not sure what to tell you. You could, we could add a condition that says if you want to, you can add the B logo into that awning. And then I would review it before you did it with the building inspector
Mhm.
and just make sure he's okay. So we would approve this as it's shown here. And we would note that we would have no objection to adding that B logo.
Right.
But I would advise you to confirm that with the building department before you actually make it.
Before we spend the money, yeah, we will absolutely make sure that that's acceptable.
All right. So I take a motion to approve the facade changes as submitted with the option that, with the conditions that the new awning match the color and profile of the existing awning to the left. And we have no objection should they choose to add the B logo graphic to that awning.
I move the motion.
Second, the motion?
Okay, we come to the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Susan,
Approve.
and I approve. And we will also send a memo to the planning board that we did review this and discussed the various elements of it. There's no lighting being added, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, because there's no door there, it's just windows now, so your access is from the old existing restaurant.
Correct, with emergency egress in the rear.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I
Thank
think
you all.
so.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the Needham Art Association, who are proposing basically a general of, I believe, 7 sites where there's rusty and creaky chain link fencing all over town, and they're trying to give us something better to look at, which is a most welcome element, I would think. So I will let Hillary take over.
Thank you. It's actually 8 sites
8 sites, okay.
and it's a mixture. I have to say there are a couple of really nice chain link fences in there, some nice new ones and some creaky old ones. I've gotten very familiar with all of the chain link fences around town. So yes, this is a public art project. It's a temporary public art project to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Needham Art Association. And the idea is we are taking artwork from our members and reproducing them on outdoor vinyl banners, and we will put them on these fences at 8 locations around town, and we will rotate them every couple of months so that it's kind of interesting for people to see what's new in each location over the course of, it's going to be 10 months, starting in September and running through the end of June, because that's sort of when our membership year runs. Everything goes kind of quiet in July and August. And it's based on a similar program in Newton. I can't claim that this is, my own original idea. It's based on a program in Newton called Fence Art that they've been doing for about 10 years. And we're just kind of putting our own twist on it. So I guess possibly the things that might be of interest is that there are 2 components to each site. There's what I'm calling the branding banner, and then there are the art banners themselves. And the branding banners give all of the necessary credits to, the town of Needham and Needham Council for Arts and Culture. And 2 of the 8 sites are actually privately owned, and we would like to thank those partners by mentioning them on the banner as well. And so by taking all of these logos and things and putting them on a separate banner, it then allows the other banners to really be, an outdoor art gallery without a whole bunch of stuff on them. So these are the 3 versions of what the branding banners would be. So 6 of them would just have the 3 NCAC, MCC, and Town of Needham logos, and then there would be 1 each for the Gatto Agency on Chapel Street and for the Bullfinch Group on Honeywell Street.
Okay. Well, it looks like a good idea to start. I'm gonna let,
Thank you.
Susan, do you, I guess I hope you've, if you want, we can go through each location, or if you've looked at them, are there any particular locations that you had questions about? Start with Susan.
I did look at all the locations. I thought they were all fine. I was just wondering, only because I drive by it all the time. The fence around the Rosemary Pool, why that wasn't included.
The reason why was that that one's right next to the one at Sudbury Farms, but the Sudbury Farms one, you get everybody coming out of the library parking lot. And it was a little closer to the intersection of Highland and Rosemary than the Rosemary Recreation Complex fence. So it would be too repetitive to do both of them.
I see.
So that if we weren't able to get the Sudbury Farms fence, that was my backup plan, but I was trying to get as close to Highland as possible.
Got it. Personally, I feel like that's a less attractive fence than the Sudbury Farm fence. It could use some fixing up, hiding or something. I think it's a lovely idea. I think it's well, what are you calling the awareness banners?
Oh, the branding banner.
Branding banners, are a nice idea. I was just, I guess, I guess it doesn't matter what the art actually is. It's just, we're approving just the idea.
Yeah, at this point, I think that's what we have to do. We have to put a little trust in them, that it's not gonna be anything wild and crazy. We could ask for a review of the choices when they make them, if you want.
So I will say some of these that I used in the mock-ups are actual submissions that had come in. So the submissions were coming in as I was preparing these materials.
Okay.
I will say that the submissions are all from existing members. This is not an open call for art. So
Yeah.
they're all known quantities to me. You know, they do landscapes, they do flowers, that, you know, I have no interest. There's three of us who are going to be making the selections from among what our members have submitted. We have no interest in doing anything inappropriate, controversial. You know, typically Needham Art Association exhibits their work at the Needham Public Library and the Wellesley Public Library. So we're very much aware of having artwork that is appropriate for all audiences.
Okay, great. Steve, any questions?
No, just for full disclosure, I am not part of this group. However, I am part of the Needham Council of Arts and Culture, which has supplied some of the funding for this.
That's okay.
My only question I have right now, first of all, congratulations on finding the fences. I'm sure that was a challenge.
My goodness.
And I do think I agree with what Susan said, having the separate banner sort of explaining, you know, what it is, they can remain and you can just move around the art. Good. Also, the material. That's my one question. Is it durable? Has it been proven?
So if you can scroll up, I think it's page 4. Oh, that's not going to help you. It's page 4 in my document. Maybe up above the sites. It's a company called Half Price Banners, because I'm oh yeah, maybe it's a couple. There it is. Okay. So it's called Half Price Banners. They have a product that's an outdoor vinyl banner, and I went here and I copy and pasted what they said about it, which it's an 18-ounce matte vinyl, 1,000 by 1,000 denier, I guess. And it's designed to be used outdoors as an outdoor.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay.
It's not the
And-
mat that allows some wind to pass through, right? They're just solid.
They are solid, but what we're gonna do is, you can see here, I'm gonna get the version with the pole pockets.
Yep.
As opposed to doing grommets, because
Oh,
that
I
will
see.
allow them to hang without buckling. And, you know, I
Great.
so you can see there, I have an example of what I had a banner that was hung through the Newton program, and I think they're small enough that wind has not been an
Okay.
issue with them.
Okay, yeah, it looks, with the poles, it looks, you can get it stretched taut and,
Yeah, so it doesn't
Mounted
kind of
well.
like sag.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to hang them and to switch them around quickly if we do that. So it's a little more money, but I think it's going to be worth it to make them look really nice.
okay. Steve, anything else?
No, I have no other questions. Thank you.
I guess my only question is on the site at Greenfield. I can find it. Yeah. So there is a sign for Greenfield, I believe, behind that fence. Toilets are lovely
Yes.
addition, by the way. Are you going to, it looks like we're going to cover that up to some degree. Do you want to
Well, I
locate?
think the angle of it is, if you were standing in front of Greensfield, that sign probably hits at the third or fourth section of the fence.
Okay,
So it wouldn't be directly in front. Like I'm edging towards the porta potty. And would not want to block that. So the other thing is a little bit depends on how many submissions we get. So another thing is at this site we might only hang 3 instead of 4, which would also prevent it from blocking that signage. But I think that just has to do with the angle of the photograph. I don't know about this sign that's hanging on the fence right now, I'll be honest with you, because Parks and Rec was very particular about it. Took a little while to get permission from them. So then when I showed up
Yeah.
to take this picture, I was very surprised there was a sign on the fence. So I don't know if that will be there in September. I'm assuming not.
well, that, that happens with us at times too. People put things up without checking. So they have their standards, but some people just don't even understand that there's someone to ask. So, all right, well, I think it's great. I think it'd be a really nice addition. I like the fact that you made a separate banner for the credits so that it's a very simple approach and then you can move the art around. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I don't hear any objections from the rest of the board, so I would take a motion to approve the fence artwork project as submitted.
I move the motion.
Second the motion?
We come to the vote, Steve,
Approved.
Susan,
Approved.
and the chair approves. Really, this is great, Hillary. Thank you so much.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I almost can't believe I'm done getting all my approvals.
Good for you. Well done.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
We have, excuse me, we have minutes from the last meeting. 2 of you were there, so we can, that's a majority of us present are able to vote. Are there any? I understand from discussion with Elisa that Steve, have you had a chance to review them?
I did review them and I watched the video and reviewed the notes. And I really didn't find anything major except something for my clarification. At one point, the pendant sign, the signs that hang out, I had made a comment they have to be 8 feet high. And I wasn't clear that if I believe they can't go out more than 4 feet. I said something like 8 by 4 feet. I don't know if that was confusing. If not, it's okay. But I believe they need to be at least 8 feet high and they can't extend more than 4 feet. I
It's in
don't
our
know.
bylaw?
I'm
Or
sorry.
is that a building code thing? Was
I
that in our bylaw? I'm not, I
thought
don't,
it was somewhere. I read it or someone,
okay,
I thought.
all right. Let's see.
I just want to be clear that what I meant by that is it can't extend more than 4 feet. In
And
cases where they come
what-
up again.
what discussion was that?
Would have been for a Needham
Garden?
Garden.
Garden and hardware.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, admittedly, I'm not as familiar with all the bylaws and the numbers. I need to look them up as I go through them.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't remember the exact thing in it. Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, you have that in there. It was pretty clear.
Okay.
It says in the bylaw, projecting signs may have a maximum projection of 4 feet from the wall and a minimum of 8 feet above the sidewalk.
Okay, so he's got it covered. I think
Okay.
the note is clear on that. If
Okay,
that's what you meant. Okay.
that is what I meant.
So I'd take a motion to approve the minutes of June 10th.
I move the motion.
I second the motion.
Okay, and we vote Steve,
Yes.
Susan,
Approved.
and I'll abstain. Abstain. Okay, and I would take a motion to adjourn,
I move the motion.
I second.
and we come to the vote, Steve,
Yes.
Susan,
Approved.
and the chair approves. Right,
Thank you.
all right. So